OG. Let go. All my niggas riding gas tank on full. We be fresh than a bitch. Yeah, your bitch might get pulled. I ain't got time for the bull. I ain't got time for the bull. Okay, all my niggas riding gas tank on full. We be fresh than a bitch. Yeah, your bitch might get pulled. If you see us in the streets, no talking, let's go. No time for no.
Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Riley, aka Riley the Great, and you're now tuned in to another episode of the Millennial Mayhem podcast.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
As y'all know, I got my cousin with me, Young Tony D. What's going on, G?
What's good, my dog?
Shit, I'm chilling, man. Another day, another dollar.
Another day, another dollar. Another beautiful Saturday in the H.
In the H, yes, sir. You are absolutely right about that. And we got super light skin over there on the far left. Young Ray Matthews. What's going on, G?
Man, you came up with another nickname. I'm with it. I'm just over here. I got to give a couple shout outs. Shout out to my dog Tony for getting me the coffee on this morning. My man set me up live in the water. And then shout out to my girl Tage. You know, she provided me. I didn't come prepared, so she provided me with the pink pen.
The pink pen with the stars.
I'm just over here. I'm over here writing my grocery list down. Cause you know tomorrow's a big day.
Yeah.
My man Tom Terrific is gonna bring it home once again. Hate.
Ain't no hate, but I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Nah, neither do I.
I don't know about this one, dog. Pat Mahomes, bro. That offense looks like it's almost unstoppable. But
Pat Mahomes getting the dub.
No, he not. They missing
Tomorrow.
2 of their tackles.
that is true.
It's irrelevant. Pat Mahomes getting the dub.
All right.
But more importantly, what's happening tomorrow is my nephew is having a birthday tomorrow. He just turned 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I know my brother is super excited about that, man.
Dang, he won already?
Time be flying, dog. They don't stay little long.
No,
bro.
not at all. And that joker is big, man. He came out the womb huge, man. Yeah, bro. He almost big as you, bro. With your little ass.
Man, watch out. that mean he almost big as you too.
You see, y'all know the vibes over here on this side. The brown skin vibes with all these guns.
Little nigga, fat arms.
Okay, I'm 5'7", he 5'8". He just fat.
No, 5'9".
Little nigga, fat
5'10".
arms.
Yeah, just pant size just 46. That's all.
Why we gotta go back? Why you gotta bring that shit back up? Hey,
Because
you an asshole. But today we have a really good show for y'all. This one is gonna probably get a little heavy. I know we started off, just a little bit of banter and just chilling or whatever. But today we're gonna be talking about something that's near and dear to all of us because we've all been engaged in some scenarios and things that happen in and around this topic. So today we're going to be talking about mental health.
Absolutely, definitely.
Especially when it comes to millennials and the everlasting impact that it can have on us, especially as minorities. This is something, like, just to be full transparent, I didn't know much about it at first. We've had situations with it, but this week I really had to dive into it and actually do research and look it up. And it's just so many things that I found with the history of it with minorities that just had me completely taken aback.
It's the research for me.
Yeah, man. It was a pretty interesting journey to go down and see how we've been treated as a whole throughout the course of history when it comes to mental health and how people have been misdiagnosed and all the rest of that good jazz. So
what you find? Man,
I found so much. Just to give y'all a little history for those who don't know, I'll just give y'all a little history based on what I researched. Okay, so I found out that there was a physician by the name of John Galt that hypothesized. And this was in 1848. He hypothesized that black people were immune to mental illness simply because they couldn't participate in commerce, voting, and property ownership. So basically what he was saying is that since they don't have any shit, they don't have nothing to worry about as far as getting bread and taking care of their families and all the rest of that good. They don't they have no ability to be stressed. Not thinking about the lifestyle that they were actually living at the time.
Right. That's
so
cool.
That's completely ridiculous. But I continued down the rabbit hole. I found another doctor that combated John Galt's hypothesis, but he said that a guy by the name of Benjamin Rush, he said that enslaved blacks do suffer from abnormal behaviors. They do suffer from mental illnesses, and one of them that he prominently talked about was nigritude. Nigritude.
What?
And nigritude is the irrational desire for a black person to be white.
Okay, so I know
the
that
research for me.
that's not supposed to be funny, but that is now added into my vocabulary.
Yeah.
When I see somebody fully displaying that, I'm calling it.
Yeah, you
nigritude.
are suffering from nigritude.
But in all seriousness, I guarantee both of those men were white
Yes,
because that is some bullshit.
completely.
Like, that's absolute bull, man. Like I can't even. Yeah,
and and the only reason why I was giving that brief history is to kind of lay the foundation for what we're trying to talk about today and how we're going to navigate this particular topic, because history, when it comes to mental illness, is the reason we are as we are when it comes to that today.
Absolutely.
And just thinking about it, like these professionals were like the leading guys in these industries. In these particular, like these were the leading guys. These are the guys that are like at the top of the food chain when it came to mental illness, mental health. These are the guys that were doing all the research and doing all of, the top of the line guys. And they come up with these prognoses. I mean these hypotheses and stuff that put us behind the 8 ball. So that's why I know, like, now, I see why we feel the way we feel about mental health, or more particular, I see why we feel how we feel about therapy, because even though that has been changing a bit throughout, the last few years or whatever, but I can see why we felt the way we felt about going to see somebody about our mental issues, because shit, you never know a nigga don't really want if he really want to help or not.
Yeah, if you just like, because you got to simplify things for people. If you just simplify it, like, I don't just tell some random stranger my deepest secrets, right? Like, because of the simple fact that I can't trust you. Like, I tell y'all my deepest secrets because I know that when you give me feedback or advice or whatever the case, however it comes out, that it's coming from a place of love. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't trying to like harm me. You only want to see the best for me. And
Absolutely.
so that's exactly why we have traditionally felt the way that we have felt as far as mental health goes, is because, our parents and their parents' parents and their parents' parents, they just had to suck it up and figure it out. Right. Because we now have more representation in those fields. And so it makes it easier for us to feel like we can I can trust you. You look like me. Like,
right.
And so I feel that way when I'm going to you, but they didn't have that. I can't trust you because you might try to lock me up or steer me the wrong way.
Right. Or suggest some shit that I don't really need.
Right.
And that's in the medical industry as a whole, man.
Right.
Boys,
since we are getting to, well, you brought up the point about having more accessibility to it. Might well give a shout out to the people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dr. Brittany Jones.
Brittany Jones,
Yeah. That's one of our people that went to Prairie View with us.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her. I know she's doing her thing in that field. And who else?
Marja Stearns.
Yeah, Marja Stearns.
Definitely.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Trey 7.
Yeah. Both Trey 7 probably.
Yeah. Indeed.
Co-ed. Enough said.
Enough
said. But yeah, I'm kind of glad. I know, maybe about 10 years ago, I've never heard, a lot of people, well, black millennials, literally talking about therapy and talking about, hey, maybe I do need to, go seek some clinical help at this point. And now, completely different, man. I don't know, like, I don't know, one person who hasn't at least said I may need it or I am getting therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely changed, and I'm happy for that because our mental is your mental and your physical health are one and the same.
Right.
Like you have to have both of them, or your life will deteriorate very quickly.
Right. Yeah. Because I read somewhere that they said that millennials are like, we're the burnout generation.
Yeah.
Like we've been bogged down with so many things, so many stresses on top of stresses, and a lot of other generations, they don't really understand the things that we go through routinely. Because, and like I try to tell some people, man, like back in the day when apples were 5 cents a fucking piece. Yeah, it was, you can go work and you get paid, and you can utilize that, whatever it is that you're doing, you can go feed your family with that and be okay. But with inflation and all the rest of this stuff, we got student loans. Like it's so many things that are been put upon us to have to navigate and also break through and still be able to do some of the things that they did back in the day. And it gets really, really stressful. Like from raising kids to spending money on a doctor to deliver the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so many things that we have to deal with, and it can be very, very stressful to where you can get wore out really, really fast, and it can deteriorate your mental health. It can put you in a weird position. So, and that kind of leads me into the situation with my boy Ray.
Well, before we go on, I just wanted to unpack that really quick.
Okay.
Because that was what you said was 100% like right, and it was big. We are the burnout generation because we have so many, like, inflation happened, but we also getting paid a little bit more than they did. When apples was 5 cents, they wasn't getting paid what we're getting paid now. We got social media that's put inside of our rotation or whatever, and seeking attention or acceptance and all that other stuff that's put inside of us. But I like when you think about it, our parents and then our parents' parents, they just didn't have all of those things, right? And racism and all that other stuff, we got to deal with that on a different level now as millennials. When they were growing up, racism was what it was, and they were trying to fight out of it. Well, also in that time, we so-called like racism wasn't a thing anymore, and now we just kind of seeing, oh well, it's still a thing because it's learned and taught. And so on top of us as millennials and minorities having to deal with the racism issues, you look at it from the other side, and schools are integrated. More black people have white friends, more white people have black friends or minority friends, or
right,
however you want to, talk about it. And so you also got to deal with that as a kid. Like as a parent, I know my stepmom growing up, she was like, you better not bring a white girl home. Like, and it's like, well, you got me at this school with nothing but white girls, and you don't want me to bring a white girl home. Like, I get it. But then I look at it on the flip side for white people. It's like, their parents are the ones that were racist or whatever, or were made all that stuff happen and were fluent in there. So they got to deal with, well, I hear what you're saying, mom and daddy, but Steve, my friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that dynamic is put into it for them as well. And so it just, like you said, it just makes it hard for us because we struggling as millennials as a whole, not only minorities, but as a whole, with the idea of, I hear what you say as my parent, but I also know what I see, feel, and interact with every day. And that's just not how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how it is for me. So I'm conflicting with the fact that I can agree with my parents, but I also know what I experience. And I think a lot of them go through that as well at home because they don't want to believe what their parents believe. You know what I'm saying? They want to believe what they see, feel, and what they interact with. We just not where it needs to be. And so like we definitely as millennials struggle with that big time, bro. And it, like you said, it's just so much stuff on our plate because we trying to shift the change and not sweep it under the rug anymore, which is what kind of happened after the whole slavery thing got diminished or whatever, and segregation, all that stuff. We trying not to sweep it under the rug. We trying to deal with it because we deal with these people. We in the corporate world. We in our whatever your profession is. You dealing with each other every single day. So it's like, we got to figure this shit out or somebody going to get their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't want it to be, like, I agree with everything you said, but I don't want to paint the picture that, the basis of our mental health or mental instability or whatever is based off of our interactions with, or lack thereof, with Caucasians. It's just
no. I wasn't saying that. I'm glad you cleared it, but I wasn't. I was just adding I was trying to add a different portion of it because you all covered everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that for anybody that was thinking.
Okay. Yeah. It's. I mean, like I was saying earlier, man. It's just
A bunch.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
And
For sure.
you guys can. I mean, I know you can speak more to it. That's why. That's why. I don't even know how to put it.
That's why you're trying to lead into my story.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely. Well, I like, just full transparency, obviously, because that's what we try to do with you all. And to be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you how many years ago it was. That's how far out of my mind I try to keep it. But I was like in my 20s. It may have been 25. It may have been before 25. Sine knows the exact number because she remembers me being at her wedding. Or the wedding rehearsal like that or whatever. And so maybe like 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't know, years ago, I had reached a point where the things that happened to me in my childhood, I was blaming everybody for. And it reached a point where I just peaked. Alcohol wasn't enough. Drugs wasn't enough. And I reached a point where I was ready to give up. So I still remember, like it was yesterday though, but we went the day before it happened. We went out. I forgot where we went, but we went out and got drunk, obviously. Came back, and it was a Saturday. I was supposed to be playing golf that morning. So I woke up early in the morning. I woke up in my room with a half full bottle of Crown next to me. So when I woke up, obviously, let's take some more drinks, and I'm about to go golfing. So I drank a little bit before I left. Rushed, got in the car, boom, went golfing. We went golfing, and I had a good mind to kind of like even myself out because I was at a good point. But then at some point, my thoughts just consumed me, and I started drinking more than I needed to at that time. And then we got on the golf course. We probably did the front nine. We got onto the back nine. By the back nine, I was mingy as hell by the back nine. I was in my mode, and I had totally kind of forgot about everything, but then started thinking about it a little bit more, and then of course I was, with some other people, and they pulled out some cocaine, and I was like, but I was drunk and I was feeling this, so I just got out of my head and I started doing a little bit. Then we finished the round of golf up, and we went to the place that I was working at the time, and we just went there to have a drink. I, voted against it, but I got overruled, so I'm like, whatever. So we went in. Well, my GM at the time was a gay male, and we were inside, and he was just hitting on me, and I'm okay with gay people hitting on me. You attracted, I'm attractive. I can't be necessarily mad at you for shooting your shot, right? But his shooting his shot went from like shooting his shot to like digging. It's like I done knocked it down, like leave me alone at this point. And so at some point I got frustrated with him, and I was drunk. So I cussed the dude out, ended up getting fired. Then on top of getting fired, once I got fired, it's like the brick just hit me, and destruction was all I wanted to see. We went next door to this other restaurant who we knew the owner. We took a couple shots of Louis 14. I was feeling myself, feeling good, and then probably did a little more cocaine. I don't even remember at this point. All I remember is going back to, I was dealing with a woman at the time, and I just remember going back to her house, and then she started getting on me about being drunk, which she should have, right? But she started getting on me about being drunk, and then I got consumed in my thoughts. Once she started getting on me, along with everything else that was happening that day, started blaming myself for past things and doing all this other stuff, and then I just got fired. I'm like, I got an apartment, a new car, like the world just hit me in the face, and I was drunk and on drugs, and I just grabbed a knife. She was blah, 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 and in my face. I just grabbed a knife and took a slit in my wrist, and it was a really big knife.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, the scars there to prove it. So I just took a slit in my wrist. Then after I took a slit in my wrist, the rest was history. They one of the guys that I played golf with, she didn't know what to do, so she called him. I'm just bleeding out, and she called him, and he came, and they called the ambulance, and the ambulance picked me up, went to the hospital, obviously, and the thing happened. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a big point in my life, and it made me look at mental health a whole lot different. And yeah, I don't even I don't even know. That was big.
And I've known Ray every bit of 16, 17 years.
Yep.
Damn, you know.
We have been partners for a long time, and I had no clue the amount of stress he was going through around that time. No clue. None. So, and I'm just gonna give my perspective on it, because it's the same story, but it's just from my eyes. I get a call from said chick or whatever saying that the situation, told me the situation or whatever. She said he's at the hospital. So I'm looking at I'm looking at the phone like, this bitch lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm like she, man, Breezy, shut up. Because I ain't really trust the Breezy anyway. So man, she lying. But then, I had to, reevaluate, and I'm like, all right, let me go up here and go see what's going on. Get up there. This dude is in the bed. I'm talking to her. She's like, well, no, let me back up, because I did once I got off the phone with her, when I realized she was serious, I did call everybody. Mm-hmm. I called everybody. I called Sine. I was like, hey, he's at the hospital. This girl just told me that, such happened or whatever. We need to get up there. And like, when I called Sine, I knew that the whole family part was good. Like,
the ball is rolling.
Yeah, the ball is rolling. Like, yeah, she's about to make sure everybody and their mom up there. We get up there, man. I'm getting up there. I'm sitting up in the lobby with everybody or whatever. And I can't even lie, dude. Like, I was sitting there and I just burst out crying, because I didn't get it. I didn't understand why he would do that. Because like I said before, I had no clue what he was doing. And I got so pissed off to where I walked out of the hospital and I was like, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Like, why wouldn't he talk to us? Like, I was really feeling like this my guy. Like, why you not hollering at us? Like why you not telling us, what's going on? Maybe we can help you with this. And I was getting more pissed off at the fact that I was thinking that he didn't think he can talk to us about the situation, and it compiled and this transpired from it. So I'm like, why he didn't talk to us? Like, even I think when I went outside, I think Tony tried to grab me or whatever, and he was like, man, just calm down. And I'm like, no, man, why he couldn't talk to us? Now we here for him. Like, we always been here for him. Like, why he didn't come talk to us? And then, and maybe if I was older at the time, then I probably wouldn't have reacted like how I reacted. But even when he woke up in the bed, I'm looking, man, I was fussing.
Nah, go and tell him you cussed me out.
Yeah.
Cuss them out. Like, be real.
Yeah.
You cussed them out.
I did. I was pissed off, but it wasn't like a pissed off at, like I'm mad at Ray. Like, I want to fight Ray. No, I'm pissed off like, dog, we here. Mm-hmm. We your dogs.
Yeah.
Talk to us, fam. But, like I said, man, the research that I've been doing, man, it definitely has opened my eyes to, and has definitely led me, allowed me to understand that I was extremely wrong around that time. Even though, that was an emotional ordeal, I was very, very much so wrong, and handled that completely out of line.
We was babies, dog. Yeah. We was babies.
But this is the one thing that I can appreciate now, is the fact that more and more people are actively talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, even like, if you, like, I think we were like 24 at the time. Like, even if you go ask, 20, that's 10 years ago. Jeez. Mm-hmm. Even, you ask somebody 10 years younger than us, they're having those conversations about mental health, which is cool.
Yeah.
That was something that really wasn't talked about, for around us. Like,
mm-hmm.
It really wasn't talked about like that. Now, I'm glad about that, because now that whole situation, because I know I was kind of, I felt a whole bunch of emotions, when that happened. I was sad. I was kind of mad, because I was on a point of view like, man, why would you, holler at us? Like, fam, we always talk. We always talk. Like, when Steve was going through something, he would tell us. When I was going through something, I would tell y'all. When Ray was going through something, he would say so. But this one time he didn't, and then it went to the very extreme. We were pissed off. I was sad. I was like, man, my partner just, really just trying to take himself out the game. Like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it was just so many emotions. You're like, well, man, I'm glad, he's still living, but now we gotta piece all of this back together. We gotta, really be there for him. And that's when, I was telling you, like, hey, fam, you gotta calm down. Like, we can't be upset. First and foremost, we gotta be happy that he's still alive, that it didn't go to the very extreme to where it ended.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I was very happy about. And I could say, looking from back then and to today, I'm glad you're still here. That's first and foremost. But I really, 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 we really have to start talking about how friends deal with others or deal with the friend that's actually going through something or actually is mentally ill.
And that's something I want to ask Ray. I want to ask him, like, just how do you feel about how your friends dealt with that? Like us, how do you feel about how we dealt with that ordeal around that time?
I honestly felt like y'all dealt with it how you were supposed to deal with it, right? Because one thing about mental health is, like, we put so much of mental health on the next person, right? So, like, it's not your job to make sure that I'm mentally stable, right? You can help in the situation, but Pops always told me you can't help a nigga that don't want to help himself, right? And so, like,
it's true.
I say that to say that it's not solely your job, and too often we put it on, like, check on your friend, dude. Well, I got life too, like, so, like, I'm trying to do my life, and so, like, I never feel like it's anybody's job to handle my mental health, right? I think Cat Williams got a joke. He said, talking about self-esteem. He said, esteem of your motherfucking self. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my mental health. And so, like, I didn't feel any kind of way about it because I didn't think that it was y'all's job to do that. I just felt like it was my job to figure out why I wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would make me feel so bad that I would rob everybody else of the Ray experience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like how you put that. I like how you put That's a good one. That's all right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, I'm being honest, right? Because all of us have, when dealing with each other, we all have a different experience, right? It's a Steve experience, it's a Tony experience. It is what it is, And so, like, I just had to figure out why I felt that way. Like, what would make me be so selfish? Like, both my granny and my grandmother still here. My cousins doing, my aunties, everybody still. Why would I want to take that from them? And so, to be honest, I never thought about how y'all should have handled. Were there some people that completely handled it wrong? 100%.
Yeah.
Were they trying to make fun? 100%. But it doesn't matter. You can fight that battle, but I can't fight anyone else's opinion. What mattered to me and what was important to me is that even though you cussed me out when I finally came to, friends, from passing out, even though you cussed me out, I also saw big ass crocodile tears on your face. And so, like, I knew that was just an angry cussing me out. I didn't take it any kind of way. I'm just like, Ray, why you do this to these people? Like, why? You selfish. Like, look inside of yourself and figure it out. Because, obviously when you try to do something like that, you got to see, like, I probably saw like 10 therapists coming in after the surgery is complete. About 10 therapists came in the room and they was all asking me all these questions and didn't try to diagnose me or anything like that. They just asked me questions. And normally, I didn't find out this till afterwards, but normally it's procedure that when you do something like that, they keep you for a little bit just to monitor you to make sure you was good.
Yep.
And I knew something was wrong inside of me that I had to fix because my doctor just straight up came. He's like, look, you done seen 10 doctors. And look, I'm going to be honest with you because they let me out the next day. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. You just don't need to drink or do drugs anymore. Like, that's exactly what he told me. He's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You sad. You may be going through some things and that's totally normal and fine. But to take it to this step, there's nothing wrong with you that I see or that any of these 10 doctors have seen to make you do that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that it started the ball rolling on my self assessment.
Yeah.
It didn't I didn't go hard in it because, Granny just told me growing up, my granny was the main person who really raised us growing up. And so my mom was in the situation that she was in. And so she wasn't there initially. And so Granny just kind of told me that she instilled in me that I got two younger sisters. She instilled in me that I couldn't show my emotions in the way that I wanted to show my emotions because I had to be strong for my sisters because they're women and you got to be the man and you can't do that. And so I just never really knew how to express myself or show my emotions in that way, which we all kind of struggle with. But it was a little harder for me because I couldn't. I was like dad to them, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to keep that in me, which is why y'all didn't really know everything that was happening is because there's just a lot of stuff that I kept to myself back then that I didn't want people to know that bothered me. I can remember being in college making up stories about what it was, working at the bar telling people, oh yeah, my parents, when my dad retired, we moved here and blah, blah. I was like, nigga, where you get that story from? No, you grew up in Fifth Ward, nigga. But that made me analyze nigga, you got to unpack this. You got to figure this out because you're going to be fighting your whole life if you're not first honest with yourself about what is going on in your life or what your cards were. We all want a good deck of cards, right? We all want the ideal deck of cards, but we not all dealt them, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't win.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're dealt the cards that you're dealt. You got to play them to your best ability.
Yep.
And that's just it. But I do have a question. Do you think those 10 doctors were right? And the doctor, do you think that they were right?
100%. 100%. Like I said, this mental health thing is such a delicate topic. And I think that we overrate things sometimes because everybody goes through depression. Everybody gets sad. Everybody had that moment where you can't pay your rent. Everybody has been broke before. Everybody eat ramen noodles, which I still eat. Shout out Marachin. But yeah, everybody has those moments, but not everybody has those moments where it should be it should never be a suicidal moment,
right.
There's do various people have suicidal thoughts? 100%. Sometimes your problems just get there to where you're like, man, I don't even want to be here no more. But to actually go through with it takes a day. They got some people that they call them rails. They call the people cutters, but they call what's on their arm rails. They got some people that literally sit with razors and just make little ticks in their arm because they have that feeling where they want to kill themselves, but they don't have the balls to do it. You know what I'm saying? Why you don't have the balls to do it? Because you're not supposed to, man. You just gotta. There's something in you that you gotta activate and make a better decision and do something different.
So in essence, this is more. Well, in essence, what you were really going through was just a state of depression, and it was just extremely fueled by alcohol and drugs. Because in
that moment it was for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that moment. Because in essence, I think a lot of people end up doing that, but I don't know if I can't say whether it goes to the extreme of suicidal.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I know I've been just in this past year, I was depressed a lot and nobody knew it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even know it,
right?
You know what I'm saying? I was over here from the time of maybe my last birthday up until about May, for almost 3 months, bro, I was buying dude, I was killing a bottle of alcohol literally about in a day and a half, a bottle of Crown by myself. Shay don't drink like that.
Yeah.
And I was over here just killing, and I was like, man, what the fuck is going on with me? Why? I had to literally have a come to Jesus meeting within myself. And I still, was like, man, okay, I need to get off the couch. I need to do something. That's when I started running again. I was like, all right, this has become therapeutic for me because I can let all of my thoughts out while I'm running. Sometimes, and depending on the music that I'm listening to, it really got therapeutic. Sometimes I started listening to gospel music. Sometimes I was listening to R&B. I had to, lay off some of the the rap and trap that I'm always forever gonna work out to it, but it was just putting other thoughts in my head, and I was like, you know what, I'm already in this depressed state. I need to, find something exciting, and that became it. I had to find an outlet. Like, I think a lot of people need to do that. You got to find an outlet. The one thing that makes you happy, you have to keep that in your back pocket for days when you have those depressions.
But think about it, and you're 100% right, but think about it. It's like alcohol is such like all you got to have for alcohol on the grand scheme, sometimes you don't even need this, is money, right? Sometimes you don't even need it because your friends have it and you just pull up. Like, pull up, let's do it, right? It's that easy. You need something therapeutic, something different to stimulate and take your mind off of it. A lot of times alcohol is just that easy out that we take, right? It took work for you to get off the couch, put on your headphones and go run. That's like that's doing work. I could sit here and drink Crown without working and just chill. You know what I'm saying? So we just naturally fall to what's easy. And alcohol for me was just easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. So it was just easy to pick up alcohol and do drugs to figure it out.
So, and this is, I know you were going through this more than just that day. Like, how, I don't even know, like, what signs you were showing. And like, that's the thing. Like, I couldn't even tell you because y'all just now finding out, I was depressed most of last year. You know what I'm saying? Or, during the time, and when we started the podcast, I was feeling like that, and y'all just now finding out. How do you really, like, know? Like, how do you give off those vibes? It was like, hey, what? Because most people who need help can't say, hey, I need help. They're not going to say that. What was it that you think that you was like, man, somebody probably could have seen that I was going through something?
Nah, nobody couldn't see. If you think about it, like, during that time period, bro, I was separate from y'all, like, because and that's again on that trust level. That's again on that trust thing. It's like, I went around the people who really didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? I was going out and drinking with them. I wasn't going out and drinking with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know that y'all would have seen it and been like, nigga, this ain't you. Like, but I'm sure y'all saw some little bit with like, this ain't you. But again, that's where I take it back to that life point. You got life happening too. I think you was trying to graduate. You might have been trying to graduate at the time, or maybe just getting into the workforce on the both of y'all then. And so, like, there's just things that happen in your own life where you like, all right, I need to separate a little bit to try to figure out. And so I just separated too. Like, I'm like, I don't want to bring y'all down and make y'all roll harder because of what I'm going through. I don't want to be a burden to anybody like that. You know what I'm saying? And so,
and that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it was the separation. Oh,
see,
I was easy. That's the easy thing to do.
Yeah, I was getting lit, bro. I honestly was getting lit like 6 or 7 times a week, working, making money. I was working, making money. Right after work, I get off 12. We go straight to the bar, drink, go to after hours, drink, do some more drugs. Like, it was, and then I was like selling too. So it was like, that was my excuse for doing just a whole little wormhole.
Ray was a drug dealer. Most unassuming ass nigga ever. Yeah. Was out here slang.
4 times.
Yeah, it's difficult for you to understand, for you to see your friends. You got to be really around them and notice patterns and be paying attention. But that's tough.
Well, I will say this, Tony. I did notice a change in you last year. I did notice it. I didn't want to say nothing because, when you want to talk, you'll talk. However, I did notice some small, subtle changes within your demeanor on certain things at certain times. But of course, I'm not gonna say nothing because for us, if we want to talk, we'll talk. It's not something that we have to be forced to do. And if it's something that you're going through, man, I know you can get through it. But if you need help, I know your ass gonna call me.
But I do think, as friends, well, first off, you're my blood cousin. So, right. And that's, I got a lot of cousins, but I think the bond that we have is a little bit different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that we could ever, and I've learned this from dealing with Ray's issue. If I think that you're going through something, I'm going to ask you, are you okay?
Definitely. That's
Because I don't ever want to sit to a point, and I'm just saying this to everybody. If you're watching, listening, like, don't ever sit idle and have that to where, oh man, they'll be all right, or they'll come to me when they're ready. Because what if they never come to you? And that's something that I learned from Ray's situation. Like, Ray didn't come to us.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that, hey, that's how you felt at the time. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I do think that we can just learn, okay, hey, when it goes on for so long, like, I can see you do something one day and it's like, all right, Steve, that's out of character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the minute you start repeating that behavior, then I have to intervene. Like, hey, hold on, dog. This ain't you, fam. Like, what you doing? Hey, you all right? Because I'm going to ask questions. And you know me. I like poking the bear. I don't give a damn.
Oh, yeah.
What you gonna do? You gonna fight me?
Yeah.
You finna drive? Yeah. 45 minutes an hour and try to throw hands? You finna drive over here, take an L, and then you have to drive your ass back over there mad the whole time in your car. Man, I just took an L to this light skin punk. But nah, I don't think that we could, as friends, first and foremost, like, if you're an associate, it'll be hard for me to reach out like that. But as friends, I don't ever think that we could just sit idle and say, I see something, but I'm not going to say anything.
Well, and I get that.
But so, I do understand the reason why you didn't say anything. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I can't do that. I can't do that. I have to ask you, are you okay?
And everybody's different. Like, everybody
That's
handles
what I'm saying.
things.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't think that everybody can say, oh, I can just wait. They'll open up when they get ready, because shit, tomorrow ain't promised.
No, I hear you on that. So last year, did you identify what triggered those feelings?
Yeah.
Do you know your triggers? Did you know your triggers from last year? But
Yeah, I found out what they were.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I found out what they were, and that's what made me say, okay, you know what your triggers are. Like, like, this is the thing. Identifying a problem, finding a solution. And that's how I was like, all right, I found out what my problem was. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for my own happiness. I don't give a damn what's going on. I can't rely on anybody else. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love my mom, my dad, my sisters, my whole family, my niece, my nephew, my brother, my aunts, uncles, all my friends, my wife, my baby. I love them all. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for my own happiness. And I got to a point to where I just wasn't happy no more. Like, I was just doing things for everybody else, but I wouldn't take care of me. And I had to start pouring into myself and making myself happy. And what makes me happy?
Fried chicken.
Yeah. Oh, God. Gosh. Ray, why you doing? I got to go get some fried chicken today. But nah, what makes me happy is just, being able to do the things that made me happy. And I wasn't doing them because I was so busy trying to do so many other things that I forgot to pour into myself. Yeah. So that's what I started doing. I started pouring into myself. And, what made me start thinking about it was, when you're running, I was running 3 miles. You can be listening to music and whatnot and still kind of zone out and start thinking. Yep. And that's what I was doing. Like, oh, dude, why you doing this and why you doing that? And that's what made me just, okay, now instead of running 3 miles on, once a month, I'm doing it, almost twice a week. And I'm really finding that time to, all right, Tony, let's do this week. Hey, you got the podcast coming up. What you think about doing this? And, I just started having conversations with myself, and shit, it worked for me.
Self-care is like super, super important, man. Yeah. Like that age-old cliche that you hear, like when you get on the airplane, the first instructions they give you is, hey, when that little thing pop out the sky, if we in a situation where we going down, when that little thing pop out the sky, put it on yourself first, and then put it on your child. Because if you trying to put it on your child or the person next to you and you die, you damn sure can't help them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So put it on yourself, and then self-care is huge.
Yeah. See, I've never had an issue with that because I'm the only child.
Self-care like a motherfucker.
I will take care of myself all the way.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, I'm taking care of me before I get to anything else. And I think that might be a gift and a curse for on my end.
Yeah,
Because I'm a ride with my, what? You need what? Hold on. First, let me do all this, and then I'll get to you after I get done doing all this stuff for myself.
Big time.
Yeah, I've always been like that. So I know, and like listening to you guys' stories, I'm trying to think of a time when I've felt depressed or went days of feeling sad and stuff like that. And I think the only time I've ever really happened to me like that was probably over a relationship.
I was about to say breezies.
Yeah,
When you got big, I can tell you. Some of that was you got comfortable, but you got to a point of past comfortable.
Yeah,
because even you started talking about it, and I was like, well, man, get your fat ass in the gym. Man, I'm not. I don't let you make it. So the energy that you give me, I have to give it back because that's how you understand things. I know you. I have to be direct and hey, we'll get your ass in the gym. Like you're not telling me nothing that I don't know about you.
Yeah,
you're not telling me anything bad. You know the problem. You know the solution.
Yeah,
jazz in the gym.
That was 280 pounds. That was like a bad time,
and that was around my wedding.
No,
it was before. It was before
the wedding.
But you started progressing. Around then.
But that was not a bad. That was a bad time. Especially and then shout out to my homie Sharon. Sharon kind of hit me over the head with something that kind of put me in my feelings for real. Like because I was having asthma issues really tough when I was bigger too. Mm-hmm. And she had said something about well, maybe it's your weight. And man, that shit pissed me off so bad. I'm like, nah, it ain't that. It ain't. But that was just that triggered the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then after we had that conversation, because in the moment when you pissed off, you just pissed off. You're acting off, emotional response. But after that, I called her back and I was like, you know what?
You're right.
You might be right. And shit, I had to do what I had to do.
Absolutely.
But to get back to what I was saying earlier, I think for me, I think it's been with Breezy's though. I know the last relationship I had like probably maybe a month or two of
a little meltdown.
Yeah, a little bit of extra shit. A lot of drinking.
A bunch.
Yeah. A bunch of drinking.
We talked about that on the Case of the X.
Yeah,
on that episode. Like, hey, fam, you got about 1 or 2 times for me to be picking up rounds.
Yeah.
After that, hey, alcohol expensive, brother.
Figure it out.
When you at a bar buying drinks, that shit get expensive, brother. We gonna have to start coming up with some solutions and acting on them. But
I think I probably that could have been a catalyst for me to go see somebody because I have some friends that. Post relationships, they've went to go see somebody about the issues that their ex was having with them, just to kind of hash that stuff out and like work through it. Mm-hmm. So that probably could have been a catalyst for me. But however, I didn't even take it into consideration actually going to therapy for any of the ordeals I was going through with old girl. I just kind of like took it on the chin. But I know now I probably need to go sit down and talk to somebody because of things that I guess involved in my childhood. I think it's a lot of stuff I think I need to unpack based on things that I keep bringing back up, especially when it comes to me and my parents. Like I have moments where I bring up old stuff. And I shouldn't be bringing up old shit at 35, but I'm bringing it up because it's still, I still remember it.
You haven't unpacked it. Yeah.
And I don't remember a lot of stuff from when I was little, but I like the stuff that I do remember. It flashes, So I know there's some things I gotta hash out and, like you said, unpack. I just haven't gotten around to getting it done. Yeah,
past trauma definitely lingers on when you don't unpack it, and it can definitely be a bad thing.
Yeah,
that shit frustrates me, man. It makes me so upset that I got to that point, or that we get to that point, because that's just what we do, man. We just pack that shit up and throw it under the bed, like, and try to forget about it. But like you said, you be bringing stuff up, like, and it's just something simple. We was just recording the last podcast, and I said something about me not having a degree, and I said it a couple of times, and Joy was like, well, hold on, you kind of emotional. Do we need to unpack that? And I didn't even think I needed to unpack it. I packed that shit up, and I was cool with it because I'm good in life. Like I don't need anything, you know. So I didn't think I needed to unpack that. But then when she said that, I'm like, I was listening back, and I'm like, damn, well, maybe I do need to think. And I found out it does bother me that I didn't finish at PV. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's okay. I'm glad that was brought out so that it could. But why do we put these things? We just so worried about what other people think. And I think that's what drives it a lot. We just so worried about, because I packed up my childhood. I packed all that shit up. And not only did I pack it up, I packed it up and I made a whole new wardrobe for it. Like I told you, I made the story up about, you know, my parents and my lifelong situation and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, just face it. Like, attack it head on, because you never gonna beat it going this way or going that way. Only way to beat it is to go right that way. You know, and it frustrates me that's why I get frustrated with people sometimes, because we all put on these damn masks. Yeah. And we okay with wearing these masks outside. We not fixing nothing that's really under the mask. We putting the mask on and it look good. We getting ass shots. We getting boobs. We getting penis jobs. We pumping abs into ourselves. We pumping makeup on our face, Botox in our lips. Not even dealing with why we even give a. I'm about to cuss, but why we even care about the way that somebody else think about me? Like, be happy with yourself, bro. Like, because you gonna get all these diagnoses from all these different people who telling you stupid shit and giving you medicine to make you feel worse, and you don't even know what's in the medicine, and then this and that. Like, it's real people out there that got real chemical disorders, like, that really can't function without it, and you could just tell because they different people. I deal with somebody like that in my life, you know, like, can't function without the medicine, is an entirely different person without the medicine. So that made me look like, Ray, are you just being a biatch, or is something really wrong with you? And I came to the conclusion that I was just being you know what I'm saying, like, behind it. I was being letting it affect me more than it should have affected me. And it pisses me off when we try to diagnose people with stupid stuff like, oh, this kid has ADHD, or this kid has this. No, that kid don't have that. You just not paying enough attention to the little guy or the little girl to help them through what they need to get help through, right? He ain't paying attention because you ain't pay attention to him when he was 1 to 7, because that's when kids, you know, develop the most. You ain't pay attention to the little person when they was growing up. That's why they having all these issues. It's because you just told the nigga to go to the table and do the homework. You ain't sit down with him to help him do the homework. Stop just bringing this other bull crap into it, and just admit, maybe I did something wrong. Let me look into myself and figure out what I need to do different to affect the situation different, man. We don't do enough of that, man. It's so much easier to just blame the next person for the shit that we going through. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In our head, and when you just, that energy, like you said, Tony, you just put that energy off on the next person.
Can't do that.
That shit is so wrong, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and when people need help identifying that stuff, like what we talked about earlier. So, and that's where the therapy and you know, actually talking to somebody that you do trust, that's completely unbiased, that has no dog in the fight, but that can really help you get through the things that you need to get through. Which is why I'm excited and happy that there's more representation for us in
that field.
In that field.
Absolutely.
It's a lot easier to talk to somebody that looks like you, or that knows the things that you've been through. They have they can identify with it because they've had something that happened to them that might be similar to your situation. Because I mean, a lot of these therapists, they're not perfect. By no stretch of the imagination.
They're still people.
They're still people.
Right.
You know, so they can, like I said, they can unpack your stuff because they probably had the same things that they needed to unpack in order to become the therapist that they are at that particular time. So, me personally, I'm just like, man, hey, if you need help, if you feel like you need help, go get it.
It's super cheap. It's not like are there some therapists that are expensive? 100%. 100% there's some therapists that are expensive. But there are also so many different avenues that you can go to try to get help. You know what I'm saying? There's programs to help you get help. There's cheap therapists to help you get help. You can go talk to, somebody that I don't know what it looked like for you, bro, but like there's so many different ways to get help. You just got to do the work. You have to be willing. I did willingness last week. You have to be willing to do the work. Like you got to research. You got to research therapists. You got to look online and figure out who I know. Because Taylor really helped me, because even after I tried to do what I did, I still thought I could handle it by myself. Once the doctors let me off, I'm like, hey, I'm out of here. Like, it's something you did right, but you don't need to go see a therapist. You good. So I didn't go see a therapist for a while. It wasn't until Taylor had Noah where I really started to get serious about it, because I'm like, okay, Taylor was like pointing some things out, and I'm like, okay, I don't want that to rub off onto him. Like, the situations that rubbed onto me. And so now it's time for me to really, like, you know what, bite the bullet, Ray. I think the first therapist I went and seen was Brittany, actually. Or maybe it wasn't, no, I think it might have been some other guy. I think it was another guy that me and Taylor actually went to together. And I think that was like $60 a session. And granted, $60 is a lot, but what I got out of it gave me fight to go get more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gave me another reason to keep going to get money. Okay, I got to figure this out. We figure everything else out. You know what I'm saying? I figured out how to buy the alcohol. Why am I using money as an excuse to why I'm not getting therapy? And it started helping me a little bit more. And then I went to Brittany a couple times and saw her a few times. And then, started seeing my pastor, because that's somebody that I trust. My associate pastor, that's somebody that I trust. And so I went to see him, and he luckily didn't charge me anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things out there for you to do. There's ways for you to do it. You just got to sit your ass down and figure out what it is that you need to do. Like, how you going to navigate this. Like you said, a problem, a solution, And
also, I want to also point out that even if you don't feel like you have a problem or there's nothing that you're dealing with at the time, it's still okay to go see. It's okay to go talk to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Just to make sure that, just basically like a sanity check. I'm talking to, I have me a session here or there, just to, unpack up some small things I'm going through, but just go talk to somebody, and, just to make sure, all right, yeah, I'm good. All right, I can lay off this for a little while, and if you need to, do it reoccurringly, like every 3 to 4 months, then just go in there and just go talk.
That's live.
Unbiased.
That's
unbiased.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, we just need to talk to somebody. Right? Get
things off your chest.
Yeah.
And off your mental.
Yes.
It's like going to get it, like you said, mental and physical health go one and one. We go get physicals every year. Go to the doctor and get checked up. Same situation.
Why not?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Why not? Why not? I mean,
yeah,
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
One thing that I know. Oh, you finna wrap up?
You got something else you gotta
No,
say?
well, this is. I guess I'm going to part of the wrapping it up. Damn, I jumped the gun like a mug, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I should have cut
you
your
always
ass off.
do.
Damn, man.
Hit him.
But
I don't know why I pressed that. I just want to.
but nah. To anybody that's really out there going through anything, and you either do or don't know the problem, stop wallowing in self-pity and do something about it. And to the people that notice behaviors, do not sit idle, because you possibly could be saving somebody's life. Just don't sit idle. If you see somebody's behavior has changed, it's nothing to just ask if they are okay and to just talk to them. Now, if they don't open up, then that's on them. They're wallowing in self-pity. But as it pertains to you being a friend, checking on them, you did your part. Nothing hurts worse when you know that you could have did more and you just opted not to. That's it for me.
What you got, Ray?
I mean, man, I don't know what else I could say that I haven't already said. Man, I appreciate you all giving me the space to be transparent and be open, man, because that was definitely a serious point in my life that I really tried to, like, put behind me in a sense. But like you said, we gotta talk, and I didn't realize how much I needed to talk about it, because this is probably one of the first time. I never hide it from anybody. I'm super open about it, but I definitely needed this space to kind of talk about it in this way. And so I appreciate y'all for giving me this space to talk about it. And for anybody that's, going through anything or feeling any kind of way, pay attention to yourself first, because you know yourself better than anybody else knows themselves, right? And so although your friends could look at your behaviors and say, hey, I noticed this change, no, you look at yourself and be honest with yourself and say, Ray, that's not like you. What you got going on? You know what I'm saying? What's going on in your life that you need to talk to somebody about something or whatever. Take some time with yourself, man. Like, as millennials, we got so many things going on around us, kids, jobs, school, whatever. Take some time for yourself and figure it out, man. Figure out what you're going through, because if you don't and you don't voice it, it's only gonna bite you in the butt later. Because at some point, whether this thing happened when you was 20 and it comes out at 34, at some point it's gonna come out. And it may not come out how it could come out if you just took some time for yourself to figure it out, man. So yeah, that's it, man.
I'm with it, man. This has been an interesting episode. We still have some more to talk about with this one. But we're gonna wrap it up right here. The only thing that I can really leave you guys is just to love on your people, man. Just love on them. Make sure that they know that they have somebody. That can go a long way for a lot of individuals out here. From what we read in our research, the suicide rates for African Americans are rising steadily. So with that being said, do what you can do what you can control, and that's just love on folks. Let them know that they got somebody that they can talk to. Even if they don't take the avenue, just let them know, hey, I love you. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to them. And that's what I'm gonna leave the people with, man. I'm done. I'm done. This episode, I will say this though. This episode was sponsored by RTR Media.
Yeah, come on. Official. Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in. This concludes another episode of the Millennial Mayhem podcast. Peace out, people.
I ain't got time for the book. Okay, all my niggas riding gas tank on bull. We be fresh than a bitch. Yeah, your bitch might get bulled. If you see us in the streets, no talking, let's go. No time for hating. I ain't got time for the bull. I ain't got time for the bull.